Okay, is that all working now?
I can see the slideshow.
Yes.
Okay, great. Then we can go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone to the second overview of Legislative Priorities Forum. I'm Marika, and Lindsay is here as well from the Political Council. And there we go. So we're just going to quickly go through some of the updates to the legislative agenda so that you have some background before attending DA, and go over a little bit of our political nature of MAPE as well. Please feel free to use I think it's a Q&A today, not a chat, but whatever option there is for you to ask your questions. We'd love to hear them. The goals of the Political Council overall are to create and maintain a statewide political infrastructure, defeat toxic narratives about politics and state service, and build MAPE's political power and competence. Our current membership is here. So James Turth is our chair. He was just voted in because Nicole June just became our statewide president, and she was our former chair. So we had to fill in our chair, and we're very happy to have James with us. Lindsay is our vice chair. JVO is our secretary. John Ferreira, Jason Medor, myself, and Aaron Wagner are all members of the council. We have the advocacy structure is broken into kind of three different parts here. We have the Political Council, so we conduct member education and set legislative priorities in the platform. This is different from the Political Action Committee or PAC, and they endorse candidates and coordinate with candidate-specific election work. And then we have the Political Fund that a board of directors subgroup coordinates, and they decide on the independent expenditures that we do. So this would be political funding for things like We Make Minnesota, outside of specific candidates. And PAC membership is for anyone who contributes to the PAC. So you can contribute to the PAC in various ways. Our legislative priorities are the political issues and platforms that we identify as an organization to create the stances on the issues that impact our guiding principles. So the amount of time and resources that we spend on any specific issue in any specific year can vary depending on the political timing, strategy, capacity, all sorts of things. But the legislative priorities each year are going to vary. They're all going to be based on our legislative agenda. Our guiding principles that are behind all of this are supporting equitable compensation and respectful treatment of all state employees. And we support efforts to provide sustainable resources for state government operations. And then we also support a working class, people-centered agenda ensuring equal opportunity for all. So these are kind of the guiding principles that lead our agenda, as well as any specific years. How do we come up with that? So we have member feedback provided through a form. This is another way that we get feedback on that is through the forum, and then through any sort of discussion or debate that might happen at delegate assembly. We will scope and refine the items through things like this forum, and then potentially at delegate assembly if that's needed. And then there's coordinated advocacy throughout the legislative session. Some of the key wins that we had for 2026. So we won improved retirement options for DOC employees. That was a big win. We ensured benefit and service credits are protected for those on legislative leave. So if any of our members join the legislature, they get to keep the service credits and benefits that they had as state employees. Minnesota State colleges and universities got blood donation leave, which they didn't have before. And then there was a bonding that received many important projects for all sorts of different state agencies. And we protected employees from having their personal data shared. So that was a bunch of big wins from this last legislative session. Some of the examples of our legislative platform stances are things like we support the preservation and strengthening of the Public Employees Labor Relations Act, or PELRA, and oppose the use of professional employees in unclassified service. We believe labor unions should have the same rights as other political contributors to participate in the political process. We support affirmative action, emphasizing increased recruitment and greater attention to expanding diversity in the state workforce. We support funding all state agencies, including Minnesota State, at 100% of the cost of operations. So these are some examples from our legislative platform. Some additional ones. We support the right of state employees to run for public office. We oppose any legislation that modifies or removes agreements made during the collective bargaining process. Maybe something like RTO. We support paid and sick leave for all, and we oppose privatization, outsourcing, and contracting of state services. We support progressive taxation policies. So you can, this is just, again, a sample. You can see the full list on the MAPE website. It's going to be in the delegate assembly packet once it is finally endorsed, but you can see what we're suggesting for this year. We organize the platform in kind of three different areas that are our guiding principles. So we support, we oppose, and we believe. And we really only have one main addition this year. So that's opposition to AI without protection for workers. So using AI to make workplace decisions without protecting workers' rights, including the right to bargain, and no AI is used, getting a human review, replace workers, and be protected from bias, surveillance, and harm. So we oppose that. Any questions on that so far? I find Zoom so challenging to see what is happening.
There's no questions in the chat so far, Marika.
Great. Would anyone like to ask any questions out loud? I don't know if that's even possible in this setting.
I don't know either.
We'd have to unmute, like allow them to speak, which
Okay.
y'all should have the permissions to do that as well.
Okay.
Mhm. I don't see any hands raised, and I don't see
Okay.
anything in the chat, so I think we can move on.
Great. Well, then we will look ahead to Lobby Day. You can go ahead and put this on your calendar, February 18th. There will be a rally in the Rotunda from 2 to 3. So taking a late lunch or taking time off, whichever works better for you. And then there will be some legislator visits on that day. The districts will be determined a little bit later, but it will likely be people who are in greater Minnesota will have visits on that day. And people who are in more of the metro might have visits that week or kind of around that time. But around February 18th will be when we'll try and have most of the visits occurring, because I know it can be challenging to schedule if you're like, I don't know when. But we definitely want the folks who are coming in from greater Minnesota for the Lobby Day rally to have the meeting with our legislators on that day as well. And that's all we've got. It's a little shorter than the other resolution forums that have been happening.
I'm still not seeing any questions in the chat or anything. Looks like people are starting to drop off.
Okay, great.
We can stick around for a couple minutes if people have questions that they want to ask. Otherwise, unless Liz or Tanner or Devin or James has something else that they would like to add,